What does it mean, out of many, one? That is a very fundamental expression, description, that has actually been incorporated by the founding fathers of the United States of America. You will find it under the Lady of Freedom on top of Congress. These words are inscribed on it. You will find it on the dollar bill, on the quarter, and on the penny. The words are e pluribus unum, from many one. It is a Latin expression that our founding fathers found it very important to have that on our currency, to have that associated with our freedom here in the United States of America. E pluribus unum, from many one. What does that actually mean? In real life terms and in real time, what that means to say that God created us many. We have been all created differently. We are all created in our own distinct way. There are no two people that are alike. We are all created individual, but yet we are part of the many. Which means that here in the United States of America, our success of becoming such an advanced nation in such a few hundred years compared to the thousands of years of other countries and nations. Our success were because we were so diverse. We came from so many different backgrounds, but we were one. We had one message. We were looking to live in the land of the free. And creating the United States of America, the land of the free, was what our founding fathers wanted to accomplish. And that's why these words, e pluribus unum, is found on every single dollar bill, quarter, penny, and other prominent places. Because it is a message that needs to resonate with all of us. To realize and recognize that we are all responsible for each other. We are all dependent on each other. That yes, God created us individually, but God also created us individually to be together. The day that you were born, God said the world can no longer exist without you. So you and I were created by God for a purpose and a reason. And the world was unable to exist without us, and that's why we were created. Then we ask ourselves the question, is it all about me? Is it all about what I need? Is it all about the I, the me? Or is it about the we? Is it about what everyone else as a country, as a nation needs? And when we wake up in the morning, is the thoughts about what do I need today? Or what do we need today? And to be able to recognize, to realize that God created each one of us and gave us the ability, the strengths, and the energies and the means necessary to carry out a specific mission in life. The mission is not just about us. The mission is rather, what can I do to make this world a better place? What can I contribute to the world? God put me here in this world to be His extension. God put me here in this world to be an ambassador of doing good and caring and loving and being generous, being considerate, being positive, being uplifting, being joyous. These are the fundamentals part of humanity. When we could appreciate and understand that we are one of many, then we will recognize that our success in life is not going to be just what are you able to do for you, but rather what can I do for others? What can I do for the world? The great philosopher, Rabbi, Dr. Maimonides wrote in his very famous writings that every human being should always be cognizant, as if they are on a scale with the whole world. When the scales are even, and you are the one who you can tilt the scale in favor. That if you are aware and cognizant that the next positive action that you do will not just affect you, it will affect the whole world. You'll tilt the scale. We know how sensitive scales are. When they are out of balance, you add a fraction, it can tilt the scale in either direction. So when you are aware that any good deed that you do can tilt the scale, not just for you, but for the whole world, yes, you can make a difference. And he takes it to the next level. Not only a good action, but even a good thought. You have a positive thought. You think something positive, to do something positive. Even the positive thought goes on the scale. And you can tilt the scale for the whole world. Not just for you, your family, for the whole world. And this is our journey in life. To be responsible for each other, to be dependent on each other, and we all need to be each other's guarantors, because we are all in this world together. We are all sailing together with one mission and one goal, is to make this world a godly world, a spiritual world. And with divine providence, God gives us everything that we need to be able to be together, live together, coexist together, and love each other. And don't do upon others what you don't want to be done to you. As in the Bible is the verse, love your fellow as yourself. It doesn't just mean to love your fellow as yourself, but as an extension of yourself. I want to share with you an amazing event that happened in the 1980s. This was in Lake Placid, New York, when the United States ice hockey team were going to be included in the Olympics against the Soviet Union team. The Soviet Union team has won every single year. They are a well put together team on the ice. What happened on February 22, 1980 in Lake Placid, New York became one of the most historical athletic victories. And that moment went down in history where a team of the United States of America won against the Soviet Union team. Understanding that the team representing the United States of America were rather amateurs. They were college students, unexperienced in comparison with a very well-skilled team from the Soviet Union who has won the last 7 Olympics. And yet here, at this event, there was this group of Americans who are being trained by Mr. Herb Brooks. He had such a tall order to take this group of amateurs, of college students, unprofessionals, and to turn them into professional athletes on the ice. It was almost impossible for them to even envision any sort of a victory. The Soviet Union was going to be the victors, no question about it. However, Mr. Herb Brooks, their coach, worked tirelessly and pushed this group of team, a group of, as they would rephrase them, as misfits. They were so uncoordinated and they were competing with each other he had such a difficult task trying to train these athletes that his chance of winning against the Soviets was nearly impossible. But he pushed them and pushed them hard. He would train them every single day, every single night, until they couldn't stand on their feet anymore. Until the night before the game, when the athletes couldn't take such difficult training, when they cried out to Mr. Herb Brooks and say, "How much longer are you going to torture us?" And this was the punchline that created the miracle on ice that went down in the books of history when the United States of America was able to defeat the Soviet Union's hockey team. What did he say? Mr. Herb Brooks looked at these athletes who were competing with each other, who were being self-destructive, couldn't get them to be together. But he taught them a line that brought them to victory. And his line was, he says, when you recognize that the name in the front of your shirt is more important than your name that's on the back of your shirt, that's when you'll reach victory. He drilled that mantra into their minds. The team, USA of America, that's in front of your shirt, as a team, is more valuable than your own personal name that's on the back of your shirt. The athletes resonated with that message, and they realized that if they were to win against the Soviet Union's team, they are going to need to be a team and work as a team. And as if you follow the game on February 22, 1980 in Lake Placid, New York, you would see how they played amazingly. They kept it a tie, 2-2, until the last few minutes of the game, when the United States of America athletes were able to break the tie and win the game. And it went down in the annals of history of the miracle of ice. How this group of amateurs, of college students, playing for the very first time, competing with the Soviets, were able to defeat the Soviets. What was the secret? It was en plumeris unum. They realized we may be many, but we'll only succeed because we are one. We are unum. When we are one, then we can accomplish so much more. And this is the lesson that we learn in life, that we need to realize, yes, there's much diversity. Yes, God created us all so differently, so many different strengths and weaknesses and challenges. No two people have the same challenges. No two people have the same strengths and abilities. Each one of us were created. But what we all have in common is we were created in the image of God. And God created us to be different, but to be one. And to realize that as long as we are living in this world, we are living as individuals for the greater good. And always consider ourselves when you are about to make a decision. Don't just think how that decision will impact you, but its impact on your family and the whole world. As the Maimonides gave the idea of always thinking that you are on the scale, the balance scale, and the next move will tilt the scale. So as long as we always remember this message, although it may be in Latin, although it may be on our dollar bills and the quarters and the pennies, let's engrave it in our hearts and minds. E pluribus unum. We are truly one. In God's eyes, we are all His children. We are all one. So let's look out for each other. Let's love each other. Let's care for each other as one. Love your fellow as yourself, as an extension of yourself. You love God's children. You're loving God. And God will love you as well. God bless you. God loves you.